Good day, podcast community. You are in the entertainment podcast, but we're under the umbrella of senior living. Now, you may know Larry if you came to his our first, everybody's first comedy event at Grace Church. You'll recognize Larry because he led the comedy that night. So, Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, what we wanted to do today is really this is going out to our entertainers in the community of senior living. So, if you're an entertainer and somebody that helps our seniors enjoy their time, because every senior facility has activities on the agenda. So we have spent like a couple weeks since your initial comedy meeting a lot of people out there, just going out and talking to them. What would you say, like in our dialogue with them? What are you seeing as far as from your eyes, the reception and the acceptance of us?
Yeah, I think it's been a real positive experience. The senior communities, the activity directors really emphasize entertainment, keeping the seniors engaged with activities. Their calendars are pretty much full of events for them to go to participate in. Yeah, it's been a great experience. You don't really realize a lot of things until you experience it, and this is one of them that they really keep the seniors active, which is a great thing.
Absolutely. I want to go back because we've had discussions about it, but I want our podcast community to kind of know a little bit about your journey. So when you said yes to stand-up comedy, what on earth, I mean, as I described in the previous podcast, 99 out of 100 people would have told me no,
Right.
but you said yes. What prepared you for that over the years? I know Owen has called you a clown, and I thought that was hilarious because in the eyes of kids, they look for things that they're familiar with, and everybody knows a clown is funny. So what do you say, like you had to have kind of like what kind of mind, what can you share with our viewers when
I think anybody who, I started probably in, like third or fourth grade. Once you figure out that you can make people laugh, it really, it's a pretty good experience to be able to, either crack jokes or, look at situations and kind of see the humor in them. But yeah, once you start down that kind of a path of being able to have people just enjoy things daily, especially in the workplace. Yeah, you take your job seriously. Obviously, I was with Delta Airlines for 30 years, but that was quite an experience. The people I worked with, you just hey, laughter, it releases the endorphins in your brain. It really it can help you get through the day a lot of times.
Did you find that? I mean, and I think it does speak to how that's just a natural default. Did you, when you said, like, when you realize that you can help people laugh, how important it is? When growing up with three girls, were you kind of like that, bringing a lighter side to things?
Oh yeah, like I remember one time my youngest daughter Lucy, she was attending Kennesaw State. She was a nursing student, and she got straight A's through high school. She was valedictorian at King's Academy, and so that was back in the days when they used to send your grades via the U.S. mail. And she got her grades one day, still living at home. I think it was her sophomore year. She went and got her grades, and she'd gotten a B in chemistry or whatever it might have been. And, she started, tears came to her eyes. It was her first B. And I said, honey, don't worry about it. I got a B once. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she started laughing, and
yeah,
that was it. So just things like that. But I
yeah,
grew up in a household. We touched on my brother, Richard Dick
uh-huh,
Howser. He played Major League ball, and I tell you, we talked about this before, but major leaguers by far, baseball
yeah,
players, it's definitely filled with the most characters and the funniest guys. I don't know why, but my brother was just hysterical. My other brother Tommy, also funny guy. Joyce, if you're listening, you're not so funny. Anyway, she's more of a serious person.
yeah,
But no, it's just so I grew up with it. My mom and dad too love to laugh, and it's not like we're just going around all day, guffawing or anything,
yeah,
but it's just what you grow up with, I guess, in any case, no matter what the situation is. But yeah, we just grew up in a household where it was just kind of natural to laugh, crack
yeah.
jokes. So
That as you say that about baseball, there's so much downtime.
right,
And you see the things that go on in a dugout, like they're putting their hat on their sideways, they're just having fun
yeah,
because you have so much downtime that I
hmm
think it allows people that want to be more lighter side of things, funny,
right,
whatever, it brings that out
right,
of them. And
hmm
so like basketball, you can't be because you're constantly going. There's
right,
not that
right.
unless you're on the bench, but you even see people on the bench doing funny things.
hmm Well, in
So
that case, soccer players must be just hysterical, huh?
yeah, there is. Oh,
Shout out to all you soccer fans.
absolutely, because I can't watch a soccer game,
No,
but if
I was
you
over at my
yeah.
daughter's house last week, and we were painting her living room, and the soccer game was on. I had to make a choice: do I watch the paint dry, or do I watch the soccer game? So anyway, it was a
Yeah,
nice shade of green. Yeah, thanks
that
a
is
lot.
I like how you say that because if somebody's interested in a sport,
Mhm.
as boring as it can be to other people, like
Yeah,
golfers say the
exactly.
same thing. There's a Ned Yep, who's a friend of mine at Pine Tree. I
Mhm.
remember his statement was, "When I want to take a nap on Sunday, I watch the golf tournament."
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
so
relaxing, no
yeah,
doubt.
and you're thinking,
And the announcers are like,
yeah,
he's got a 16.
yes.
He's,
And they
he's,
don't realize that everybody's napping on
yeah,
Sunday. They're
I
not
know.
watching it.
I think they
So
might know. That's why they speak quietly. He's got a.
like they can hear you.
Is he using? Is he using a wedge? Yes.
It is,
But
and
it's a good
it's no
sport now.
wonder.
It's a very popular sport,
Oh
and
yeah.
rightly so.
And
Yeah.
we had a gentleman on previous podcast. He's younger. And
hmm
so we I think the younger people in golf, they can't handle it. They're not going to sit there and take naps on Sunday.
Oh no.
No, they're out there playing, want to do it. That's why
Right.
Top Golf, Live Golf, all these high energy, very active things are taken
hmm
on because we're different than them. And so that is so cool. What would you say? I want you to
I'm ready for a nap right now. Actually.
I know.
So.
So for our viewers,
mhm,
you can tell why I asked Larry because this is normal.
It is
Whenever and I think
back, Pete.
that's a little fadeaway. I
That
like
was.
that.
You could do it this way and then over. But yeah, I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh yeah. And for our seniors, if we can't laugh, if we can't enjoy, if we can't have fun, because we've I say to my friends is,
Mhm.
you're living in a stage, it's like the fourth quarter or the overtime, depending on your age. And you got to be able to laugh all the time because life's too serious.
Right.
And so so with yourself, this is a natural thing, at least since
hmm
third grade or
Somewhere.
something like way back.
Right.
And so it's a default for you.
Oh yeah,
So
it really
I
is.
want our viewers to kind of share this podcast. Share this with people, activity directors, executive directors, anybody you feel that want to bring laughter, comedy, enjoyment.
Song
To
styling. We also
yes.
do
What to
sing a few
explain to
songs,
our
tell a
viewers
few.
what song styling is?
I don't even.
I know you made it up when you said,
Yeah, it's kind of like
yeah.
if I could say that song styling it's kind of like hairstyling, but not as gay.
Okay, I got it.
And
I
you
got it.
just, like we've always, when we were kids growing up, you always did impressions, but to me, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, and especially Dean Martin, those guys were
Yeah.
song stylists. They had their own particular branding and style. And so, I've taken some leads from that, and just, trying to entertain. And what we really, something that was, I guess maybe I knew but hadn't thought about it much. The seniors that we met, they're upbeat, they love to laugh, and just engage conversations. And so it's been a really positive experience so far.
We were over at Celebration. You bumped into a friend of your brother's, and it was like
It's crazy.
there was like
Yeah.
the weirdest thing, because he had an SFU Florida State hat on, and all of a sudden we started talking.
It's FSU for all you people who aren't dyslexic.
Yeah, I
It's
know
FSU.
Yeah,
It's not the United Football Association or whatever that was. But yeah, he was.
yeah.
We started talking to this. He was walking down the hall. Hey, FSU, blah blah blah. Now, what are the odds of this? This guy, is that in Kennesaw or Ackworth?
Ackworth.
It was in Ackworth. Turns out he was from West Palm Beach. He went to high school with both of my brothers, went to FSU. He knew my whole family from the mid 1950s. And we just ran into him,
Yeah.
You say I love the saying, a coincidence is just God's way of remaining anonymous.
Yes.
And I think it's true.
Yes.
And
Totally.
he knew my mom and dad. He knew, the only thing he didn't know was what street he grew up on. And I think it was because it was a number like 38th Street or whatever, and he couldn't recall the number.
Yeah.
But it was a tremendous connection. It was really unbelievable.
Yeah. And and it's kind of like your memories come back to those moments, because I've always believed that, because I was talking to my sister yesterday or the day before, and I wanted my mom to kind of have where we could interview her and really talk about it. And so she's 94, so there's obviously different things that are declining. But the one thing that we talked about was, there was a time in Asheville that we lived there, and we had a family, the Browns, which all the kids matched up, almost perfectly.
Right.
It was kind of a special moment of a person's life. She can remember all that stuff, and she talks all about that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, we remember what we think is important in our life. I mean, it's like we always do. And if you can bring laughter back, songs, and you mentioned something about Dean Martin I never knew. Share that with our viewers, because it's always, Dean always had a glass. It's just kind of his signature.
And he put people on for decades that he was, a heavy drinker. It was part of the act. He wasn't like a Foster Brooks type guy, completely inebriated. But yeah, it was part of the deal. You see these videos of him doing shows, in Vegas with Frank Sinatra, and he's introduced as direct from the bar, Dean Martin, and he come out with a drink and make some jokes about, and the whole time it was apple juice. And so the last of the Dean Martin roast, I believe, was the last one where they roasted Dean Martin, and Frank Sinatra finally told everyone, and I'm sure he okayed it with Dean first, that he just spilled it, that he's been putting you guys on for years. Frank Sinatra couldn't even get him to go out at night. He was a family guy, and he'd rather be in his room in Vegas watching TV than out, on the tables or drinking or carousing or whatever. So but that was the persona that he chose, and it worked.
Oh
It
my
worked tremendously
gosh.
for years,
Yes.
all the, jokes about, yeah, I had to get up early this morning. The gardener turned the sprinklers on, like he's out there passed out. And just,
Yeah.
week after week
Yeah.
with the jokes about, having a few too many.
Well, I never knew that. And when
Right.
you shared that with me, I was like,
Oh, most
because,
people think he was absolute,
yeah,
alcoholic or
totally,
whatever. So,
totally.
yeah.
And I think, getting back to just that whole persona,
Hmm.
you can't perform at the highest of high levels when you're not focused on what you're doing.
Right.
And so, he knew that he could be 100% if he had everything going. So the idea back then, drinking was just a little bit different.
Right.
Everybody had a drink.
Hmm.
But if he had a life of drinking, he wouldn't perform at that
Right.
level.
Yeah. I saw one
No.
interview and he told the interview, he said, you think they would have paid me, millions of dollars over the years
Yeah.
if I'd been drinking the whole time?
No. I mean, so I think a lot of times entertainment is perception.
Oh, yeah,
So I
definitely.
want our viewers to really take home from this podcast
Mhm.
is share this with people, because the landscape of senior living is all the entertainers operate independently. They
Mhm.
just love what they do,
Right.
but they spend an enormous amount of time. Like Freddie, I walk every evening and we talk, and he's just jamming on the picnic bench, just having a good time.
Mhm.
And he's putting together his programs, trying to make connections and all that, which he's fine. But we want our performers to just perform, do that, do what they do best, not try to get all these gigs. We can help you as an entertainer that brings value to seniors
Mhm.
by just getting a hold of Melissa, because I think I had her number, but maybe not. We'll put Larry's number on there, and we want you,
Yeah. Give me a call.
if you want to laugh, and I'm telling you, I'll go back to the Pervinos that I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, or it
Mhm. Yeah.
was June 8th. So I know that
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
So you came and I did a quick together, put a birthday party together. I was,
Mhm.
just, it's a special place, Pervinos. All families get together. I mean, and they celebrate birthdays. So you all of a sudden, out of the blue, nothing rehearsed, you just sang. And the people were going crazy in that room. Like, what were you thinking? Like,
Oh, I
you,
just thought it'd be fun to,
yeah,
sang, "You Make Me Feel So Young,"
yeah,
and when I sang it acapella,
yes,
no music, Pete. And yeah, it was fun. So we're looking to set up the gig in Provino's
yes.
every weekend,
Oh,
going
yeah.
from room to room, singing, and
Steve, this is for you.
yeah,
Steve's the general
we'll
manager
work
out
for
there.
lasagna. That's what we do. That's right. That's right.
We were talking to Patrick yesterday, and Steve was off, and so we dropped by. But you can go to, let me see if I can put it up on the screen. You can go to podcaster Pete Kane until we get podcaster Larry Howser and get all his material. You can hear Larry on this.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
That's great.
So his singing, his absolutely, it was, I have played it for people. I played it here to a lot of my guests, a lot of my residents. They were laughing so
You're
hard.
supposed to laugh. It's
Yes, it's just, yes. I mean,
yeah,
it was so good.
fun. That was fun.
And I know you, like you said, it's just your normal thing. Well, until I can get this up, here's Larry's number. So Larry, tell our viewers that maybe listen to this on Spotify, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, just call me, leave a message. I usually have it on do not disturb because I have singing lessons during the day. I can't be disturbed. But no, give me a call. Hopefully I'll answer. You know how you see a number you don't recognize, you don't always
Yeah.
answer because it could be the IRS or whoever.
Yes.
But I tell you about my friend. My friend's, he's a businessman. And I was talking to him, and he said, "Yeah, we're looking for a new accountant." I said, "I thought you just hired a new accountant last month." He said, "Yeah, that's the one we're looking for." He likes that one.
I do.
Yeah, he's heard it like
I
4
do.
times now.
Hey, look, when you go out meeting seniors with
Mhm.
Larry, you're going to have the best time
Oh, this guy,
because
Pete,
it's
yeah.
like connecting, laughing. So he can demonstrate right there on the spot. It's not like, oh, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to book this guy. I have no idea whether he's going to get my seniors
So I
to
can't
laugh
get
or
by
not.
my good looks, huh? No, not
Well,
anymore.
now
Those days are in the rearview
I'm
mirror. Yeah.
thinking, hey,
No.
as we get older, I heard it. Nancy. All right, Nancy. I'm trying to think of your last name. Nancy Glass.
Mhm.
She said one thing on a podcast, and she's not as old as us, but she said she puts a marker on her mirror. She stands back 10 feet or
Oh,
6
yeah.
feet
Yeah.
because we tend to look at ourselves like we were 25. Hey, look, we age. That's just the way it is. But if you can take your perspective and look at yourself from not eyes of 25, but hey, we
Mhm.
don't need to see every wrinkle. We don't
Right.
need to
That's-
see
I'll get back here
everything.
a little bit.
We're going to be aged. Exactly. So, hey, have some fun.
Right.
Bring Larry in. Have your seniors laugh, enjoy themselves. He can do singing comedy. Well, singing.
I do everything but pantomime because I can't shut up long enough to
Well,
be
that's
a
right.
mime. But
Hey, look, I know you'll be working on it because your material is so good.
okay.
So if you go to podcasterpkane.com, it's a link. No, I'm sorry. This is not a link tree. But if you go to our link tree, which it's not set up, so don't worry about it. I was thinking you could get an example. Call Larry. I want you to call Larry, and then we're going to have set up by next week. I think Trex is going to do this, but I want to go to Larry's number. But you go to podcasterlarryhowser.com next week. You're going to see a sample of his material out there, actually him performing. So you'll have the confidence to bring a person in that's going to make your seniors laugh. So, Larry, what's your final comment before we shut her down? What would you want our viewers to take home from them today?
just that, hooking up with Pete here and seeing I view it as a ministry where he tries to bring the adult children together with the senior
Mm-hmm.
community, with their kids together to, actually have an event and not just, hey, we need to get together, but actually put them together. That's what sold me on the whole idea. So I just think it's a great concept.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you being a guest. Being the co-host on the entertainment podcast.
I'm a co-host now?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
you just got promoted.
Wow.
Last week I promoted you. I forgot
Okay,
to
you
tell
forgot
you.
to tell me, yeah.
Yeah.
Checks in the mail, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And so
All right.
so our
Sounds good.
viewers out there can definitely put the check in the mail by booking Larry to come into your facility, either combination like he described, bringing the kids together with mom and dad, or if you just want to get the residents to laugh, you can do that too. So give Larry a call and bring some laughter to your community. So thank you, Larry, for
Okay, thank you, Pete.
sharing with our viewers today.
All right. See you later.